Welcome to JR's Comedy Club. You are in the audience of the only comedy show in the world that's performed in a junkyard. I gotta say though, people go, oh yeah, it's got junk on the walls. I call it nostalgia on the walls, right? I mean, this room has a lot of nostalgic meaning for me because my brother made these license plates. So we got a lot of newcomers, welcome. We have old comers. That's what my wife calls me after we make love. And you know what? I'm excited to be doing this in See Me. We love, I'm not just saying this, we love See Me audiences. You are the best. Give it up to See Me audiences. Here's the thing, most of us all perform in LA, and LA audiences suck. No, they really do. They're very jaded, they're very sensitive. I did a show the other night in a club in LA, and I had a joke and it killed. So I went, pew, pew. And this woman sitting right here in the front stood up and goes, I am offended. That's a microaggression. I said, well, you're really not going to like my macroaggression. She goes, well, that's sarcasm. Sarcasm will never get you anywhere. I said, well, quite frankly, I wrote a book on sarcasm and it made the bestseller list at Amazon. She said, really? I said, no, I'm being sarcastic. Now sit down and let everybody else enjoy the show. I get choked up on this. I haven't a week. Our prayers have been answered after decades of trying. My wife and I are expecting our first child. Thank you. To move out of the house. This was cute. My 3-year-old granddaughter FaceTimed me the other day. She was so excited. She was like, Papa, I made it through the night without wetting the bed. And I was thinking, wow, what a coincidence. Then her cousin, my 6-year-old grandson, was visiting, and he just started school again. And I said, what are you learning? And he said, we're learning about Abraham Lincoln. And I said, oh, I love Lincoln. And he said, oh, did you go to school with him, Papa? And my wife was in the room and said, yes, but Papa was a year older than him. Sorry, I forgot. Yesterday was National Alzheimer's Awareness Day. Forgot all about it. So I'm dealing with a bunch of health issues. If you've seen me before, you know I've got a lot of issues. And the main thing my whole tribe of doctors said is you have to eat differently. And they put me on this very strict regime. And so I thought I would go to different grocery stores to see who could, help me best. So the first one I went to was Aldi's. And if you're not familiar with Aldi's, it is the Spirit Airlines of grocery stores. It's like shopping in a third world country, but Aldi's has more flies. Then I went to Whole Foods. I can't afford it, I just wanted to see how the other half lived. It's an amazing store. They have a bakery section, like unbelievable. I went to check it out. They had a cake. It was beautiful. It was big. And I was gonna buy it, but I decided instead to pay my rent. But I did buy one of their cookies. And the cookies, they're surprising. They have no GMOs, no preservatives, no taste. They're awful. So I was in their produce section, and I found out I've been calling certain things by the wrong name my whole life. Like sweet potatoes. They're yams. I didn't know that. What I call turnips, they call parsnips. And what I call my morning tea, they call vodka. So the big deal with my doctor is he said I had to lower my sodium intake. I take his advice with a grain of salt. I mean, seriously, have you ever tried to make a margarita with Mrs. Dash? Ooh. So I've been married to the same woman for over 45 years. Yeah, thanks. Don't clap. I didn't say they were good years. So out of the two of us, I'm the romantic one. When I proposed, I took her to a really fancy restaurant, and I got down on one knee, and I said, I love you. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Will you marry me? And without missing a beat, she goes, are you drunk? I wasn't, but I have been every day since. Actually, I don't drink. I don't care if you drink. It's good for you. But I developed an aversion to alcohol at a very young age. I spent 8 or 9 months just totally consumed in vodka, and then thank God my mother gave birth to me. So my mom's in her 90s, going strong, still drinks too much. She called me the other day and said, I hurt myself when I fell in the grocery store. I was like, okay, Mom, where did you hurt yourself? She said, aisle 6. Well, that's 4 aisles better than you did last week. Then she starts telling me about her newest boyfriend. Every time I talk to my mom, she's got a new man in her life. Like, Mom, where do you meet all these guys? She said, there's a website for people my age. It's called carbondating.com. And for those of you who didn't get that joke, let me tell you this, my son gets that joke and he's an idiot. You know when you have a supportive, loving sibling? Yeah, me neither. I have an older sister. She doesn't have kids. She actually couldn't have kids. She has an affliction that prevents her from having intercourse. The medical term for it is she's a bitch. Just a mean, nasty bully. People go, well, she can't be that bad. I go, in high school, she was voted most likely to have a house fall on her. Her favorite role model growing up was Cruella de Vil. I had a little stuffed Dalmatian doll. I loved it. Took it everywhere I went. And my sister took a pair of scissors, cut them up, and used them for fur coats for her Barbie doll. Yeah, I mean, this is what I had to put up with. Never did anything nice, anything good. And then senior prom, I was getting ready to go out, and she goes, I'm going to make this a night you'll never forget. And she tossed me the keys to her cherry red Mustang convertible. I was like, wow. So I got in the car, I drove off, and I got 5 blocks, and she called the police and reported it stolen. Bad news is, I pooped in my pants. The good news is, she could never get rid of that smell. We recently put her in hospice. There's nothing wrong with her, but we're hopeful. Did I tell you today's National Alzheimer's Awareness Day? So we have some senior folks, we have some middle age, we have younger people. You younger people, you ever notice when you talk to people my age, we seem confused? It's because you've changed the meaning of words we've used our whole life, right? I mean, to me, a hacker, that's somebody with bronchitis. If something goes viral, you need to see a doctor. And friends with benefits, it's a friend with Social Security and Medicare. And in my day, blowing a tranny meant you had big car problems. body is rebelling. I got aches and pains and stiffness. I'm stiffer than a penis on prom night. And now I have a pacemaker, so when I fly, I can't go through the x-ray screening machines. I have to get patted down by TSA. And by patted down, I mean groped. This last trip, this guy violated me. I got in his face and I said, dude, can you show my wife how you do that? And you can remove your hand now. So I got a dog. I love dogs. Any dog lovers here? Yeah. I love my dog. I love my dog more than my wife does. I love my dog more than my wife does. I'm in trouble for that one. So when we got a dog many years ago, my teenage son wanted the dog to sleep in his bedroom with him. And my wife's like, ew, no, what about the smell? I said, she's a dog, she'll get over it. Cat lovers? I love cats. Any cat lovers? Yeah, great. Let's get together after the show and we'll compare recipes. I'm sorry. I'm kidding. I do. I love cats. I would love to have a cat, but my wife's allergic to my happiness. My wife, who I lovingly refer to as my little dream killer, wanted me to see a therapist. She goes, you're always acting angry. I said, who's acting? So I'm seeing a therapist. She's like really frustrated with me. We were halfway through a session and she's like, oh my God, this isn't working. Let's try something different. Let's play a fantasy game. If you could do it over, would you marry your wife again? I said, no. She said, what if that meant you wouldn't have the same kids you have today? And I was like, no. This game just keeps getting better and better. So my friend Murray has Parkinson's disease. And before you all start puckering your sphincters and I'm going to make fun of a guy with a real serious disease, you need to know Murray loves this. But he loves what I'm going to tell you because it's all true. Okay? He's my best friend. Oh, by the way, he's doing fairly well. He's just got the handshakes right now. He's doing really well other than that. And he's my best friend. We're very close. And since the Parkinson's, I really don't like being close to Murray sometimes. Like when he's trying to open a beer or standing at a urinal with a beer. It's like, dude, put those things away. Our grandkids play soccer together. We're at a game one day and I'm standing there with Murray and I'm looking around. I'm like, dude, your hand's freaking the little kids out. Can you do something about it? Murray put his hands in his pocket. Murray's court date is next Tuesday.